Hello and welcome to the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada on Monday, June the 6th, 2016. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. I hope you enjoy seeing what I have to share with you today. I have some knitting and some sewing and some other crafts to share, as well as some giveaways at the end of the episode. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed on YouTube and become members of the Ravelry group. I really do appreciate each and every one. So it is wonderful to see those numbers climbing all the time. So thank you. Also, big thank you to all of the people who entered my Podiversary giveaway and for posting such sweet comments. Thank you very much. They were all so wonderful to read. I didn't respond to any of them because I wanted to draw from that thread, but I did read each and every one, and thank you very much for all your very sweet messages there as well. We had 93 entries in that giveaway, and I locked that thread at midnight on Saturday. So I have drawn for all the winners. There's going to be 10 prizes awarded at the end of the show today. So good luck to everybody. So this last couple of weeks, I've mostly been working on knitting and some sewing. So I think I'll just jump right into the knitting that I wanted to share with you. First, I'll start out with a finished object that I did. That is my Game of Thrones inspired Winter is Coming shawl by Sally Jane Cameron of the Pink Hair Girl Knits podcast. I've been working on this for a little while, for a few weeks. If you've been here before, you've seen this. It's a paid for pattern, and the shawl I wanted to make was out of the awhile German yarn. It was a huge skein that I got from Germany, and what I did was I wound off a smaller skein to make the shawl out of, and I have just that left of what I had wound off, so it worked out just perfectly. Now, I used on this US 4 needles or 3.5 millimeter. And the colorway that I used from awhile, they have very long gradients. It's not the softest yarn, but what I love about their colorways is that their gradients are very long and gradual. I've knit a shawl before in their rainbow yarn, and I just love the way it transitioned from color to color. So this one is their black and white colorway, although it goes from a light gray to a black. So here is the shawl, all finished now and blocked out. So it's quite long. I would say, yeah, it's about the length of my wingspan, so probably just a little bit short maybe. So it's about 5 feet long. And there's a wonderful picot edge that I blocked out. I'll also insert a picture here of it on my blocking mat so you can see it a little bit easier. But I really love the way that Sally has written this pattern. As I said, it's inspired by the Game of Thrones TV show, and it goes from different sections based on locations on Game of Thrones, like ice for the wall and snow for the north, waves for Pike, dragon scales for Dany, and then spikes and icicles at the end. I really love. But I love the way the yarn did gradually go from the grays to the blacks to the grays again, and then finally finishing in with black. So I'm really happy with this, and I'm glad to have that off the needles. It's a really fun knit, and Sally Jane did a really good job with this pattern. She included stitch counts, and it was really easy to see if you were kind of getting off track. She recommends using stitch markers in the pattern repeats, which is great for somebody that, like me, that doesn't do a lot of lace. So yeah, I was really pleased that I think I did a pretty good job not screwing up too much in that project. So it's nice to have that off the needles. The next project that I wanted to share with you is something that I haven't shown before. I started and finished it in the last couple of weeks. I was asked to participate in doing a blanket, and I won't say for who or anything because it will be a surprise, but they did request that we do blanket squares in 5-inch square size. So got this in my bag that my daughter made me for Mother's Day. So isn't that wonderful? Just love it. So this project I wanted to make a blanket square that I've never done before. I've done washcloths and that kind of thing, but I thought, well, I'll look on Ravelry for some blanket squares patterns that I've never attempted before. And I came across one I thought was very appropriate for somebody like me who likes antiques, because this is called a square knitted in the form of a cross. And what it is, it's from I guess it's a newspaper or a book called The Dawn, and it's from Sydney, New South Wales, 1888 to 1905. And this pattern was in the page 15 of the August 1st, 1889 edition. So here's a picture that they had on that, and here is an actual picture from the publication. So I don't know if it was a periodical or what, but this is called Fancy Work, and it's hard to see on here. I'll probably put a picture in to show you here so you can see it better, of the initial instructions. They're written around the picture of the square, and when you go to this free site to download it, it's all pretty jumbled up. So I was looking at other projects that people had done. This hasn't been knitted up very much, but there is a function in the download area to kind of format it so that you can print it out. Well, it gets kind of jumbled up, and a few other projects mentioned this, so I was aware of it. So when I downloaded it, I reformatted it and then typed it out in my own Word document. So if you're interested in making this square, go to my project page. I have a link there, and I've uploaded a copy of this document on my own website so that you can download it for free, and it is free on Ravelry, and it has all the instructions all condensed down, because yeah, it was kind of a mess in the way that it was printed back in 1889. But I thought it was really neat to attempt a pattern that had a lot of history to it, so I thought that was pretty neat. So like I say, if you're interested in doing this, go to my project page on Ravelry. It will be linked in the show notes. So this is an interesting pattern in that you start from the outside of the square and knit to the center, which means I didn't really know how big it was going to end up being. It suggests to cast on 48 stitches using an old style yarn from the 1800s, I guess, and it doesn't really talk about needle size or anything like that. So I thought I would just do one, see what the size was, and then adjust from there. So the first one that I attempted, I made out of some alpaca yarn that I had in my stash, and here it is, the Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. Now I used the whole ball in 3 different attempts in getting this down to a 5-inch square. So this Ultra Alpaca Light is, let's see, it's 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. And it's just a 50-gram skein. So what I did the first time is, let's see, I have it written down here. I started first with US 5 needles, and that's the square. I started with 36 stitches for each side. They recommend doing it on DPNs, but since I'm a magic loop girl, I just used magic loop, which a few other projects have done, but I still did 36 stitches per side. So in the instructions, as you go down, when I rewrote them, I put the number of stitches that were on the needles at each row that decreased. So what I did was I started at row 12 instead of at row 1. It's a 42 row pattern. So I started with row 12, which has 36 stitches in that row, and I began my pattern there and then worked my way in. And it was a very interesting knit, a lot of fun to do. It does look rounded, but I haven't blocked these out. If it was blocked, it would be nice pointed edges and straight sides, but I didn't bother blocking this because this ended up being 7 inches square, so it was too big. So then what I thought I would try is US number 3 needles, and going down to needle sizes, and this just brought it down to a 6 by 6 square. So I knew I had to come down one more size, and I didn't want to take these, I didn't want to pull them out again. I thought they were pretty neat. I'll use them for something, if not a blanket, just some kind of decor somewhere or something. But with a US 1 needle, I was finally able to get the 5-inch square that I was looking for. So, and I just had enough, I just had a few inches left of the alpaca yarn, so it worked out very well. But yes, it was a very interesting knit, a lot of fun to do, and I think the person who's receiving it will enjoy it. And I'm going to include with the square the history of the pattern as well, so I think she'll appreciate that. So that was a fun project to do, and they only took, you know, a day to do each one, so over a couple of days I was able to both start and finish that project. So who knows, maybe in the future I'll do some other squares and other colors or whatever, and make a blanket for myself using the ones that I'm going to keep. Who knows? Let's see. So those are the only things that I got finished over the last couple of weeks. What I've continued to work on is some socks. So the first one is again in a bag that my daughter made me. Just love it. Even a homemade, she even made the tassel from scratch. So that's awesome. So in this, I've been taking to work and working on my vanilla socks. It's always great just to have a vanilla sock pattern on the needle. So this is just my own vanilla sock pattern. I've taken a few and taken what I prefer out of each one, and it's a heel flap and gusset pattern with a regular 2x2 rib for about 20 rows, I believe. And this is using my own hand-dyed yarn. So this is my confetti cake yarn. So it's my confetti cake vanilla socks. Sounds delicious. So I'm doing them 2 at a time on separate needles. And again, these are my 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter carbons that I'm using on these. So very simple project I'm continuing to do. It's a nice kind of palette cleanser project to do in between other things. So that's just a quick look at how I'm progressing with that. And I've entered those in the Bakery Bears Summer Sock KAL. So that's one project that I've entered in that. I've got a second one that I've entered in their KAL, and that is my Gryffindor Pride socks. Another project that I'm continuing to work on, and this is in my Harry Potter bag that I sewed up for myself. So I love doing color work, and thank you, Valeria, by the way. She was sending me a notice about a beautiful color work shawl, and I was looking at the designer's other patterns, and I just love, as you know, color work. So thank you so much, Valeria, for letting me know about that. Maybe that's what I'll try after I do socks. So again, I am doing these socks 2 at a time on separate needles, And let's see, better show you the pattern first. This is Gryffindor Pride Socks by Anne Kingston, and it's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. And these ones, if you've been here before, you know the whole story. I tried them first in the suggested yarn and I found them too tight, so I decided to make them in thicker yarn and larger needles to make them more like house socks. And they are coming out so nice and soft and squishy. I'm really pleased with how they're coming out. So let's see, yes, it's the Cascade 220 that I'm using for these. And I've got in Daffodil and Ruby, the colors. And I am getting along with each of them, 2 at a time. I'm finished the legs on both of those. So I really love the lion on these. And I'm doing just the lion pattern on the front and the back of the legs, and I'll do one more lion on the front of the foot, and then the diamond pattern along the bottom of the foot. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to be starting the heel flap, and then I'll do a gusset as the pattern calls for. But yeah, as I said, these are coming along really well. I'm loving the thickness of them. And this is a little charm that I got, and I thought it was perfect. It's also a little lion on there as well. And that shows the progress from the last time I showed you. So yeah, I'm finished both of those patterns down to the bottom of the lions now. So they're a lot of fun to continue to do, and there's no rush for these, but again, I'm entering these in the Bakery Bears knit along for the summer socks. So let's see, that brings me to the last project that I wanted to share with you today. Is something I'm so pleased to get back to. If you've been here before, you know that since last August I've been working on my first cardigan. And back a few months ago I got frustrated because I got to a point where I was putting the sleeves on the cardigan. It's knit from the bottom up, and I made a mistake somewhere and it just wasn't working out, so I ripped it back about 13 rows and removed the sleeves again and put it away in hibernation until I got my vest done, so that I could see just how to make a garment with a little easier pattern. So I'm glad that I did that, because now that I got back to my Roosevelt cardigan, it makes much more sense to me, and I think I'm on the right track again. So pleased to be able to share that with you again. It's in my big fox bag here. So if you're new, this Roosevelt cardigan is by Amanda Schuster, and it's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and I just love all the cable work in it. So I really did choose a pattern that was probably a little too difficult for my level of knitting, since I've just been knitting for a couple of years, but I really did love the cables up the front, along the sleeves, the cuffs, and up the outside of each arm. So I had purchased some yarn on a D-stash from another Ravelry member. I had 10 skeins of this Wensleydale Sheep Shop long wool. This is Aran Weight in the teal color, and I just love this. She got this from Yorkshire, England. So this is skein number 8 out of 10 that I'm just going to be starting. So I have a marker of when I showed this to you last time, but I have been working on it the last few days pretty exclusively, so I got a fair amount done. So on the back of the cardigan, that marker there shows the last time that I had ripped it back to, so you can see how many inches I got done. So I have attached, it's going to be kind of hard to show you here, I have attached the sleeves to it. I've also Kitchenered the underarms because I have tried it on and it does fit, so I'm thrilled with that. So there's one sleeve there, and the other, there's the cabling that goes up the outside of the sleeve, so that's Kitchenered on as well. I also wove in all my ends and sewed up the pockets on the front. So I'm really pleased with that. So all I have to do now is continue on up the yoke of the sweater and do the front button band that goes all the way around. So I believe I'll have plenty of yarn left, but I'm so glad to get back to this because it was bothering me that I was afraid I might not be able to finish this project, but now it makes so much more sense. It's going along really well, and I think I know what I did wrong. I just didn't count right and had the sleeves in the wrong position when I first put them on. So yeah, there's a lot to do in this while doing the rows. There's the front cabling, then there are armhole decreases, sleeve decreases, both sides obviously, and then back to, oh, and then there's the cables on the sleeves, and then also the cabling again on the front. So one row has a lot of different things that you have to do at different times. Some of them are every couple of rows, some of them are every 4 rows, and so it gets quite complex. So each row goes kind of slow. I'm not a fast knitter, and there's no deadline for this, obviously. But one of the things I found that really helped me a lot, besides putting in stitch markers as I'm knitting around, if I came to a round that I knew I had to do some decreases on, what I was using is something that I purchased for sewing. When I was watching some sewing videos, one of the instructors was talking about using these clips. And these are called Wonder Clips, and they're something that a lot of the sewing instructors show online. Instead of using needles, I use these for making my project bags. It holds the fabric, the padding, and the zipper really, really well. So I love using these. So what I was doing was, when I was coming around to one of the rows that I needed to decrease on certain ones of these, or certain stitch markers, I just clipped it. So when I started the row, I would remember when I came to these stitch markers, that was the row that I had to do my decreases on. And then when I did those decreases, I could just remove those clips. I kept the stitch markers, obviously, for the next row, but then again, another 4 rows later, I'd throw those clips back on there again to remind me to SSK or knit 2 together. And it really helped me keep track of all of those different decreases, because they are done at different times throughout the pattern. So you know, this is coming along, and I don't think that I've made any major mistakes so far, other than the ones that I have mentioned in the past that I corrected. So yeah, I'm really pleased to finally get back to that cardigan, and it will be nice, hopefully, to get it done by the fall when it gets cooler again. Maybe I can actually wear it to the Manitoba Fibre Festival. So that will be fun. So that's great to get back to a project that was kind of in hibernation for a while. So speaking of fibre festivals, this Saturday, daughter and I are getting together to go to the Blue Hills Fibre Festival in Carberry, Manitoba. So the next episode, I'll hopefully have some video and photos to share with you of that. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been getting kind of depleted in my fiber supply to spin up, so I'm looking especially to get some new acquisitions in fiber at that festival. I also wanted to share with you some sewing that I did over the last couple of weeks. I was able to start making some prizes for the next knit along that's coming up. I'm going to be hosting, along with 2 Tangled Skeins and a whole slew of other Canadian podcasters, the Canada Knit Along. And this will start July the 1st and go through till September 30th. So if you want more information on the knit along, go to 2 Tangled Skeins over on Ravelry. I will link their post over there that lists all of the podcasters who are going to be participating, and a list of Canadian designers and indie dyers. So head over there if you're interested. I've got a couple of projects already lined up for that I'll share with you probably next episode before the knit along starts. But in the meantime, I wanted to get started on a few other bags that I had purchased some fabric for and shared with you previously. So that is these bags. What I've done is 2 sets so far. I don't know how many I'll be doing in all, but at least I got a start on a medium bag with a matching notions bag. And I think these turned out really cute. I really love them. And they also have maple leaf pull tabs on the zippers. And of course, some plaid lining. So both of them are the same. And the notions bags also have the plaid lining as well. So I also have a few other Canada items that are going to be putting in for prizes, but this is a start to what I've got for prizes for people who enter the Canada Knit Along on the Victorian Studio podcast. So if you want to enter that and you're not yet a member of our Ravelry group, head over and join, and that way you can be eligible to win these prizes. As I say, I'll share some more prizes with you as I get them made up, but I was having a lot of fun sewing these for the first of a few prizes that will be offered on my podcast. So I'm really looking forward to that knit along. It's, I think, going to be wonderful. You don't have to be Canadian to enter, but what you will have to do is either have a pattern that is either designed by a Canadian designer or has something to do with Canada, like the maple leaf shawl or whatever you can convince us to say that it's related to Canada somehow, either in the name or the design. Or if you're using yarn that has been made by a Canadian yarn dyer, that would be wonderful as well. So as I say, head over to the 2 Tangled Skeins podcast group for all the details. I will be starting some threads in our group soon to start some chatter and a finished objects thread in there. And yeah, I can hardly wait for that to start because yeah, I'm really excited about sharing one special project with you that I've been preparing for a while. So let's see. Oh, I got some other fabric from Spoonflower recently that I wanted to share with you. If you've been here before, you know that I do some what we call digi stamps. Those are digital stamps that I draw and then you can download on my Etsy shop. And one of the images that I drew, now I started making these stamps because I belonged to a group of stampers that were using stamps called Magnolia stamps, and so this little girl on this card is Tilda from Magnolia, Sweden. And so when I started making cards and I wanted to make or put other images on the cards, I started drawing my own images when I couldn't find the stamps that I wanted. And then people started asking me for copies of my stamps, like if they could buy my drawings to do their cards with as well. And that's how my Digi-Drawn stamp Etsy shop started up. So one of the, well, some of the stamps that are on here are the seashells and the coral I drew myself, but the one I really like is the sea turtle. And I thought maybe that sea turtle would make some cool fabric. So what I did was I changed it up a little bit and then sent it over to Spoonflower to get some material made up. So I'm very pleased with the way this turned out. I added some bubbles and just resized the image a couple of times to make groups of 3 sea turtles swimming in bubbles. So I can hardly wait to make some project bags out of this material of my own drawing, like my bear on the bags I'll be giving away today. That's my own drawing as well. It's a lot of fun to see your drawing in a fabric. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with that some more as well. So I guess that brings us to the drawing. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to share with you, I'm also been doing some card making in the last little while with all the birthdays and special occasions in the last few months. Most of them I've given away, so I can't share them with you, but one I wanted to share with you before I gave it away. I have a friend who's going to be having a baby, so I did a baby card for her, and that's my own drawing of the baby booties. Those are some antique booties that I have in my collection here. So again, that's one of my own digital stamps that I made up, so I hope that she likes that card for before she has her baby. So that's the other thing that I was up to in the last couple of weeks. It was nice to get back to some card making again. So speaking of my drawings, I thought I would end the show with the draw for some of my Cranberry Bear bags and the Knitting Games prize that I won from Melissa at the Spicy Homemaker podcast. Thank you so much, Melissa, for all that you do for podcasters. And the prize that I won for there that was going to one lucky viewer on the podcast. So as I mentioned, there were 93 entries in the Podiversary giveaway. Thank you again to everybody for your very kind messages on the giveaway thread. They were all so wonderful to read. So I went to random.org earlier today. I locked the thread on midnight on Saturday. So on random.org I searched from 2 to 94 to get 10 prize winners. So what I'll do is I'll start with the 10th and work my way up to the biggest prize. The first ones, let's see, I'll get these over here. I had mentioned before that I had some stitch markers and also some little zipper pulls that I made with my little bear fabric. So what I thought I would do is just put those into prize packs each. So I'm drawing for 5 of these prizes, and I will announce them here, and I'll also put a picture in of each prize winner and their Ravatar from Ravelry. So we had, as I said, 5 of these winners. Each will get 1 card of stitch markers and that I've put together myself, and also one of the zipper pulls. So the first winner was, let's see, post number 47, and that was Crazy Knitting Fool Kristen. Congratulations. The next one is post number 3, Knitterly Knit, and I didn't write down her name. She's from Ireland, so congratulations. The next winner is post number 18, and that's Marlisha, Lady Fernico. Congratulations, Marlisha. The next winner is post number 77, and that is Kathy San, and that's Catherine. And then there is Nancy H, is post number 86. You've also won. Oh, I've got 6 of these that I'm sending out. And the last one is post number 50, KHG Knits, that's Katie. So all 6 of you have won the stitch marker sets and pull tabs, or zipper pulls. So please get a hold of me on Ravelry with your addresses. Marliesha, I think I have yours, but you can still send it to me just so I have it. And if you could send me all of your mailing addresses, I will get those into the mail to you. And that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4 more prizes. So the next item that was up was the Little Bobbins Knits DPN Cozy, and that's from Danny at Little Bobbins. And she included a stitch marker on there. I threw one of my, all the prizes will have one of my podcast buttons on them as well. So the winner of the Little Bobbins DPN Cozy is post number 5, and that's Frugal Knitter Diana. So congratulations, Diana. Please get a hold of me through Ravelry with your mailing address, and I will send that off to you. Okay, so the last 3 prizes. First is the medium bear bag set. That's the 2 bear bag, and this was this bag, and it will include a matching notions and DPN holder. I'm not as good as Danny, unfortunately. I'm still trying to get those down, but I hope you still enjoyed that set. The winner is, for this medium bag set, post number 74, Skeina 4, and that's Cecilia. So congratulations, Cecilia. You've won the 2 bear bag set. And then the 3 bears across bag set, and this also has the notions pouch and a DPN holder as well. That is going to post number 30, and that's Jenny, and she is her Ravelry name is Knit72. So congratulations, Jenny, you've won the large bag. And that leaves us with the final prize, and that was the Knitting Games pack. This whole big bag of all the mini skeins that were sent to me for coming in second in the Knitting Games Yarn Dyeing Podcasters Challenge, as well as a project bag, and also the needle sizer and the Hunger Games pin. All of those things is going to post number 4, and that is Joanne, who is also known as Nurse with the Lamp. I think it's Nurse with the Lamp. Joanne. Put the picture here. So congratulations, Joanne. You have won the big prize for the Podiversary giveaway. Thank you, everyone. I wish I could give something to everyone, but unfortunately, well, there was 10 prizes, so I hope all the winners enjoy everything that they have won. Everyone who I have announced today, please get a hold of me on Ravelry, a PM with your mailing address, please, and I'll get those prizes out to you as soon as I can. So if you didn't win, hopefully you'll be continuing to enter in my KALs, because I am going to continue to make some project bags, Canadian themed ones, and maybe a few others for the Canada KAL, and for upcoming giveaways and any KALs that I'm going to be participating in. I'm going to be doing some more project bags, so I hope you enjoy those, and probably some more stitch markers and that kind of thing as well. So I think that is it. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me here today, for participating in the KALs and the giveaways, and for celebrating with me my first year of podcasting. I really have loved it so very much. So I'm looking forward to many more episodes in the future. Speaking of which, I'll be podcasting again in 2 weeks' time, and I'll give more information on the Canada Knit Along that's starting up July the 1st. not very far away. So I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks doing whatever makes you happy, crafting, whatever you're up to. And I hope you'll join me again in the Victorian studio in 2 weeks' time. Until then, thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.